Welcome back to another video on Gearsaw Studios, and today I'm going to be showing off 25w41a, the first snapshot for mounts of Mayhem 1.21.11, and we currently have the spear, the zombie horse, and the Nautilus. Pretty much everything that was talked about in Minecraft Live is here, and you can see these guys are shockingly dangerous, because they're quite quick and they have that spear. So without further ado, let's investigate what all this is about. So, of course, the zombie horse is holding a spear, which is one of the biggest things about mounts of Mayhem. There is now a valid reason to use mounts because the spear is a new, basically horizontal mace. The whole deal behind the spear is that it gains damage based off of your horizontal speed. The mace, it's about fall damage. This, it's about how fast you can go, which means you can get really high damage quite easily. Like this, I was able to dismount the zombie from its horse, because that's another mechanic. So the spear is better called a jousting lance. By the way, you can see the item stitching is really bad on the right, but anyways. The whole thing behind the spear is that now you can joust in this game. Horizontal speed damage bonus, and if you time it right, you can see how it's perfectly straight. This will dismount things. Once it starts shaking, then it will be unable to dismount, and once it starts veering off, then it will stop dealing knockback. But still, it's quite powerful. Like this, I'm going to charge at this zombie, and I just obliterated it. 2 hits. Of course, I had to go quite fast, creative mode sprint fly, but still. We're also left behind with this horse. And the zombie horse is interesting, because of course it was unused for the longest time. Remember, horses are actually a mod that got added into the game. And we have to turn it back to midnight, because the zombie horse has a few things. It's actually quite quick, but it also burns in daylight, so you have to make a trade-off with it. Because if you use it during the day, the horse just dies. But if you use it only at night, then you only get half the utility, and if you don't get home on time, that's goodbye to your horse. So now we have a completely new mount that's effectively a reskin, but actually has some unique mechanics behind it. Scratch what I just said, if you put on some horse armor, it won't burn. So effectively, they won't infest your world, but if you want one, you can keep one quite easily. And you can see, it's a pretty decent horse, and it can jump. It's really just a reskin looking at all this, but still, if you're in a biome without horses, then this is a pretty good alternative. And you can see, the jousting thing can actually prove kind of useful. Although that one didn't deal the most damage, still, it's a 2-hit, and imagine you just run through a crowd, hold down right click, and suddenly all the mobs are getting destroyed. Or maybe you're riding a camel. And if you're riding a camel, then you can of course dash and deal incredible damage. The spear is kind of interesting, but also has something really different about it. So let's use enchant all Lunge. And here's the thing about Lunge. If I left click, I get flung, like this. However, it takes a ton of durability, but I can see how you definitely could use it for a dash attack like this. So you could dash, get out of the way, or you could get in something, even some parkour potentially, maybe, I'm not entirely sure. Still, it doesn't mean the spear is a very good weapon outside of mounts. You can see I have trouble handling with this plain creeper with a netherite spear, which is, pretty bad. I should be able to take down a normal mob. And you can also see how the durability, I've nearly broken a whole netherite spear just holding down left click. Yeah, so it's very, very situational. At least its crafting recipe is quite cheap. But yeah, when you break it, it's just gone. But still, we can definitely use it a little bit just to run around. And when it does its normal dash, it does not consume much durability. Although surprisingly weak right now, because of course its damage seems to be capped, so it does not outcompete the mace. It's not like you can fly around with an elytra and destroy everything. It still has incredible synergy with the elytra. Because here's the thing, this is a dash. So what if I were to just like this, go to the ground, and what do you know, it's infinite fireworks. So this is certainly something that messes with the meta. It consumes so much durability, but hypothetically, if I got myself some Unbreaking 3, chances are I could use this in replacement of fireworks. Like this, that's a lot of speed, and although I need to stay close to the ground, if you know how to elytra hop, then you can definitely time this right in order to have effectively fireworks that have mending and even function as a delete tool. Like this, you just hold down right click and fly at something and remove it. Yeah, you only get 20 uses before you need to use experience or just lose the weapon, but still, it might have a little bit of use. Now for our other cool mob, and I'm gonna be honest, it's actually not that cool. This is the Nautilus, and you can see it spawns in the warm ocean kind of rarely. It might have some other biomes, and it just swims around. If you feed it pufferfish, then you can tame it. It is not guaranteed, so I'd say it's probably the same chances as a wolf. And now you can see I've tamed the Nautilus, put a saddle on it, and now I can ride it. In the top right, you can see I now have myself some of the Nautilus effect, Breath of the Nautilus, and it's just 1 second of it. Now I can swim around, and I'm going to be honest, it's slower than a boat. The point of a Nautilus is for you to do a little bit of underwater building, which for that purpose I'd say is really good. Although going downwards might be a little bit of an issue like the happy ghast, but still you can see I can strafe left and right like this is some sort of creative mode. And then I can dash as needed, which means this would be really handy for underwater building. And as a builder myself, I'm going to be honest, I really don't see myself using this. I'd rather just drink a potion of water breathing. But still, this guy has some utility with that, and you could potentially use it with the spear in order to have some underwater combat. It's really more of a fun mob than anything, but I don't really see any practical use. While the camel was rare until it just started spawning naturally, well, this guy spawns rarely, and I don't see myself saying, I want to get out of my boat and get this guy to swim around, because reasonably I just don't need that. However, I can definitely see myself getting this for ocean ruins. Additionally, they made a whole set of armor for this, which has Nautilus armor, and you can see, looks very cool. You can get all of the tiers, iron through diamond, inside various underwater structures like ocean ruins and shipwrecks, along with some archaeology. Then you can get netherite by how you expect it. Nope, there is not netherite horse armor yet. But still, you can dash around with this guy, swims around, and if we get some more of them, then you can see we can actually breed them. Like this, if I can tame it, feed them both pufferfish, and then they will make more Nautilus. And there is actually a use for this. There's about a 2 to 4% chance that it will drop a Nautilus when slain, which means you might want to set up these guys for a farm. At the same time, pufferfish is kind of rare. I can see this getting out of hand pretty quick. So not the best source. You're probably better off fishing or really looking around for drowned or even making a drowned farm at that point. But still, it's a cute little mob, but ultimately I just don't think it's that cool. Although those features were a little bit underwhelming for now, I don't expect them to be the same. Still, there is one thing that is actually really amazing, and I don't think anyone's going to talk about it, so I guess it's my job now. So when we pause the game, you can see everything looks normal, the controls, yeah. However, there's now a sprint window. You can see the amount of ticks, which means it can be edited from either no, you can't sprint by double tapping, 0.35 seconds, how it normally works, or even down, or I mean up, to half a second, which is actually pretty nice. Although this is completely unscripted. That's not what I meant to talk about. I'm talking about this, the video settings. We can see full screen resolution. I don't play in full screen. Yes, all my windows are vertically stretched by like 3% because I hate full screen mode. Then we have max frame rate, all that, but all the organization's different. The quality and performance right here, you can see how everything has been split apart. So that way there's no longer fancy, fast, fabulous mode, all that. Additionally, we can turn off the vignette. This is amazing. I don't like it. It makes my videos look ridiculous. When I have no night vision and I'm at night, then it gets really bad, especially when I brighten my videos in the editor. Yeah. So this is amazing. Everything has just been changed a little bit, like improved transparency. This is what fabulous graphics is. Now I can have fabulous graphics, and everything's just a little bit easier to navigate here. So I'd say this is really good. We can have presets of fabulous, fast, and then all that, and it even edits your render distance for you. So if you're not very technical and don't know what to do, then you can just make whatever you want. So personally, I play on 1818, you know, the highest I can go while recording, but still, now I can edit it a lot more freely. And yeah, I think this is just an amazing change. Of course, this shouldn't apply to Bedrock, or at least not to my knowledge, but still, The vignette is arguably my favorite feature. I like to remove it now, so hooray. The spear and the Nautilus, although not that cool right now, will likely get buffs. Like the spear, maybe its damage will be increased, something like that. The Nautilus might be a bit faster, stuff like that. And even if they don't, still, they're cool mechanics. I bet you can find a lot of things involving minecarts and spears in order to make automatic farms better if you just hold down right click. All those things. Although I don't think the spear can get looting, so maybe not. Regardless, this is a cool snapshot. Either way, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out, and enjoy the rest of your day. Gearsaw out.